See, when you study a map and leave it behind, you'll know where to go. And here it is. Nazi concentration camp museum with Nice. So I'm hoping that it's going to be free entry, but I reckon most museums in Serbia cost at least 500 dinar, or less than $5 US. Like not even £5 sterling. Yes. And as the crows fly by, we reach the first memorial. There's a bell there, and like a red star. Oh, I think it's to commemorate the Yugoslav army who liberated this camp in 1944. So here it is for you visitors, open 10 till 4, Tuesdays to Fridays, and on the weekends 10 to 3. So there's nobody here to ask me to pay money, which is okay, but I did have to pay to go into Auschwitz. So yes, so I kind of feel like it is right to pay to get into something like this. In through the front gate. Cats are scrawling around here. So seems like all the people would have actually came through this front gate in like at least 1941 to 1944. So there's like 1, 2, 3 buildings here and a shed right there. So I'm 100% certain I'm going to learn a lot today. Typical Nazi German guard post outlet in the Third Reich colours. So there it is, I've paid 200 for a ticket. So it was going to be like 300 for Skull Tower as well, but I don't have the time to get to Skull Tower today. Because time is limited, so I have to get on the bus soon. So we're going inside the building now. Call it the Red Cross concentration camp. So here's the first room. Soon after the establishment in September 1941, in Serbian Nice, the 3rd Commander 800 formed the Red Cross concentration camp. Its purpose was to accept imprisoned Jews and resistant fighters in an unusual military storage building from the 16th Cavalry Regiment. Yes, and this is basically this part of Serbia or Yugoslavia that the Germans have control of. So this is Nice, map of southern Serbia with local Crveni Krst. So the area the Germans control of Serbia. Report of the request wanted the father into German to release his sons. So like a guy wrote a letter like, please release my son, in like Serbian and also German. And then sending members of the resistance movement in the camp. Karl Freke von Bothmer, the commander of the FK. The camp break participants. So I've heard stories that people on the 12th of the 2nd, 1942, these people made an escape out of the camp. There's at least 22 names on each of the pillars, so that's like 60, maybe like over like 120 people broke out that day. February the 12th, a day to remember. So it says here, Rudolf Dollander's personal documents, and then also Mulin Nikolic work booklet. So these are documents of Serbian citizens who were taken to the camp. And like as you can see on this, that's the like logo of the Yugoslavia kingdom. And we have yes. And other personal objects of various people, like their passports and their report cards. This is handcuffs that were actually found on camp. And even like a ladle, like to serve food. I assume this is how they'd set up a bunker to fight off the invading Tito's Red Army. More personal documents. And the faces of those people who broke for freedom. Young and old, and in between, and children. Stefan Leck's school report card, Stefan Leck's school certificate, Alexander Nikolic's pay booklet. These are just like young men and boys. Son's birth certificate, school certificate, a wallet of mentioned Milik's senior exam certificates and school report card. Since they could not storm the main gate, the prisoners ran to the barbed wire fences. Group after group hurled across the wires until at one moment a gap opened through which a certain amount of them could pass, barefoot and weak. The prisoners who had fled at the room 12 went through the city fields. In the yards and the barbed wire and the rooms, 42 of them died. 105 prisoners managed to escape. A single German guard died in the event. So, well, I reckon they probably took their anger out on that guard and killed him while he was trampled to death. Lives forever changed. this man here, Vukasinovic, who served in Serbia in World War One. And a couple on their wedding day, Stojan Dragivic with his wife, Mislav Dudik Era in 1941, families, Milka Protic in childhood, Franco Bijagovic in high school. The next room, the road to freedom. So, people's like writings on the wall right there and there, how they wanted to get out. And I reckon a lot of them had slept in hay, because in other concentration camps, yeah, they had like, you know, bunks crammed together in Auschwitz. Fortunately, I don't want to cross this barrier just to read that. So, yeah. But it's probably just like other graffiti marks of people. And all the writing of people in Serbian Cyrillic and Latin. So this is the first floor, where you've just been on the ground. So I've got 4, 5, 6, there's another 5 rooms up here. So final solution to the Jewish question: do the life of the prisoners in camp, the Red Cross Society, the memorial room, the interior prison room. So, I think how we get into number 3, the memorial room. And here we have the names of all the people who died in this camp. In alphabetical order in Serbian Cyrillic. See, look at all these people's names. Jakob Benik. So in Serbian, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So 28 people with this surname passed away. They all could have been related to each other, or it's probably a common surname in Serbia. And these 3 firsts is what I saw yesterday at the park. They installed this to commemorate those who died at camp and those killed in the concentration camps. The Versalish poet Ivan Vukovic carved on the frieze of the monument in the Bulkabin Hill: we were shot, but never killed and never subdued. We crushed the darkness and paved the way for the sun. So the Germans burnt all the documentation during the camp's existence because, primarily due to the circumstances, it had been rather difficult to identify all the inmates and victims of the concentration camp in Nice. The names of the victims that are to be found in this room are the result of the analysis of the available archives and museum documentation, as well as the testimonies of the survivors of the camp. The names of the victims of the camp have been verified by 2 sources, which means that the list is not final. A song that prisoners sang during the shooting. A gypsy song from Nis. Number 4, the final solution. Final solution of the Jewish question that destroyed the whole Jewish population in Europe under the pressure of the Third Reich, which over in 1950. Leo Hazan's advertisement. People had to wear, in Serbia, bands like that. See like that, yeah. And all over Europe they had to wear like that. Like, see this one, that's a Serbian Latin style of Z. Jewish armbands. So it says like Libija Stosyevok Jew armband, one of the rare Jewish women who survived and released from the camp as a Jew from the mixed marriage. Jew armband with Latin letter Z, Zidov, meaning a Jew probably from the territory of Croatia because the mark is written in Latin letter. And then a badge with a Latin letter Z, a gift for the Jewish Museum from Belgrade. Didn't know Belgrade had a Jewish museum. I wish I went there. And we got all these photographs of people and their documents. And like, look how nice that they had like revenue stamps back in the day with the Kingdom of Yugoslavia before they came to an end. The third phase, September 1941, planned complete destruction of Jews in Nice. The whole families were brought to the camp and accommodation in the attic of the camp's building where the living conditions were inhumane. Jewish men and boys at the age of 14 were shot at Mount Bubahanj, where I was yesterday. All women and children were taken to Belgrade and killed at the gas chambers. With the last shooting of Jews in February 1943, the third phase was finalized, in which way the occupation authorities resolved the Jewish issue in Nice. Because you gotta remember, there were only like 400 Jewish people in Nice, and the majority of them were wiped out in this camp. Or a few of them had survived and emigrated to better countries like Israel or the United States or United Kingdom. Raphael Gaon's shirt. was a lawyer arrested in 1941 and brought to the Red Cross concentration camp. He was shot at the time of the mass executions in February 1942. He used a shirt in the camp and often sent it home to be washed. The shirt was preserved and donated to the National Museum in Nice by his wife. Genie of the Bell. Always remember that name. Jelenka Galasvik. Genie was sent to a German concentration camp and survived the war, while Yelena Galavatsky was shot on June the 12th, 1944, at the Mount Bourget in Bubanj near Nice. She was decorated by the Reich's character posthumously in 1987. At Genie Lives Initiative, he preserved the character of the National Museum of Nice. Yelena Galasvsky payslip booklet. Family of Albert and Nissim Levy, thanks to the refugee ID provided by the Secretary of the Red Cross. The entire four-member family of Nissim Levy was saved. Albert Levy spent the war under the name of Alexander Lekik. After the end of the war, the family moved to Zirnum. Probably in Israel, I guess. Not by Serbia. Identity card issued to Miro Ljubijan, Nadia Milosevic, and Alexander Lekik. The Danon family survived the war in Nice thanks to Mika Aradizia, who provided them with refugee IDs with fake names. Before their arrest, the family fled from Belgrade to Nice in October 1941. Righteous among the nations.